From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, February the 27th, 2025. We open with the return of the remains of 4 hostages last night from captivity in Gaza to Israel, returned 509 days after they were brutally abducted by Palestinian terrorists during the October 7th Hamas massacre. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said today, following the completion of the identification process by the IDF, forensics, and police, IDF representatives informed the families of Ohad Yahalomi, Tzachi Idan, Shlomo Mansour, and Itzik El-Garat that they were murdered and have been returned for burial in Israel, saying pursuant to the intelligence and all of the information at our disposal, Ohad, Tzachi, and Itzik were murdered while held hostage in Gaza. Shlomo was murdered in the October 7th massacre, and his body had been held in the Gaza Strip. While many Israelis stood outside on the side of the road last night as the remains were taken to the Forensics Institute in Israel for positive identification to show their respect, sorrow, and support for the families. Israel's President Isaac Herzog mourned the 4 men, saying, "Together with the entire nation, we share in the immense grief and sorrow of the bereaved families and the kibbutz communities of Nir Oz, Nachal Oz, and Kisufim. The return of our brothers' bodies from captivity underscores our moral obligation to do everything in our power to bring back all the hostages, the living to their loving families, and the fallen to be laid to rest until the last one is home. They are all humanitarian cases," Herzog said, "and they must all be returned." This was the last handover of the first stage of the ceasefire hostage release deal reached in January between Israel and terror group Hamas. Negotiations are said to be continuing regarding the next steps. The 59 hostages who remain held in Gaza have now been captive for 510 days. At least 13 people were injured in what is believed to have been a deliberate car-ramming terror attack in the town of Pardes Chana this afternoon in the Haifa region, where a driver accelerated his vehicle and drove into a bus stop, hitting the 13 who were standing there, including a 17-year-old girl who is said to be in critical condition. 2 others were said to be in serious condition, and the other injured in moderate and light condition. The terrorist was neutralized at the scene. Turning now to here in the U.S., where anti-Israel activists, many of whom were masked, took over a campus building at Barnard College in New York City yesterday to protest the expulsion of 2 students who disrupted an Israeli professor's class at the start of the semester, demanding the expulsions be reversed. In last night's incident, the activists were said to have been chanting such slogans as Intifada Revolution and Free Palestine, and one reportedly assaulted a security guard. All classes were canceled in the building. The group Columbia Jewish and Israeli Students cited a letter from the school's president, Laura Ann Rosenberry, saying that the masked protesters engaged in disruptive conduct and damaged our property, and that their disregard for the safety of our community and respect for our campus remains completely unacceptable. The American Jewish Committee said taking over buildings, disrupting learning, all while hiding behind masks, all pulled from the playbook of the last 16 months at this school. We look forward to seeing all of their demands be denied. Well, landmarks across the globe were illuminated in orange last night to honor the memory of Shiri, Ariel, and Kfir Bibas, abducted during the October 7th Hamas massacre and brutally murdered in Hamas captivity. Their remains returned to Israel last week, where they were laid to rest yesterday. Here in the U.S., buildings were lit up in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and in New York City, the Empire State Building, and around the world, from Paris to Budapest and Berlin to Buenos Aires, Madrid, Panama City, Warsaw, Rio, and beyond. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, February the 27th. At 7 o'clock, the Yeshiva University Maccabees face off in tonight's semifinals against the Griffins of Sarah Lawrence College. At 9, Jonah Platt is joined by legendary shoe designer, philanthropist, and Maccabiah Games medalist Stuart Weitzman. At 10, it's Defending Israel with David Harris, which is also coming up next. At 10:30, a replay of the news. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, February the 27th, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.